Hello, future people, and welcome to Great Uncle John's weekly video log number 24, maybe? I should really check. Anyway, it is Sunday, June 17th, 2018. Today is the end of a fun Rockfest week. This is the fifth time, I believe, that my rock friend Pat and I have attended Montebello Rockfest. Each year is a slightly different experience. We've done private camping a couple of times and did the official camping a couple of times. And one lucky year, we had an apartment at the Chateau Montebello last year for the Rammstein concert in 2017. We actually got to see Till partying at the bar outside, the outside patio bar. So that was our rock star moment. Chugging tequila with a couple of groupies. It was such a cliche. And they went through 2 bottles of tequila and managed to walk out of there. Till is a big man. Anyway, each year we get older, especially me, and the hauling of gear and uncomfortable sleeping just isn't an option really anymore. And the mere effort of spending hours in a concentration camp watching and waiting for bands in the blazing sun is enough to focus the body and mind. The secret for the middle-aged concert goer is preparation. First step is buying the right tickets. Festivals usually have a tiered ticketing system that goes from the basic site pass through to the ultimate elite VIP backstage experience type ticket. It is a seemingly unfair fact of life that some people have more disposable income than others, and if you can afford it, get a pass with some comforts. This year, we got the Oasis VIP pass. Essentially, what you get is access to the pool area beside the concentration camp. You can lounge around in chairs or sit in the shade and get away from the crowds, go for a swim. And the whole time you can hear the music and even see the stages, although you're a bit far back. This was very sweet, and although pricey, made the whole experience more enjoyable and comfortable. The tickets also had separate VIP area in front of the stage with its own porta potties, so that was also nice. So yeah, if you can afford it, get a ticket that will provide you with some comforts. Next, pick your accommodations carefully. The official camping is, for good reason, more tightly controlled, and with what you can bring in, no glass, for instance, glass bottles. You'll have to also haul your gear for some distance, and you'll be more tightly packed, and you'll be a distance from your vehicle. And even if they have drop-off services, the whole waiting to drive in, drop off, and drive out is quite a pain. On the other hand, you'll probably be a short walk from the concentration camp. And another option is camping or lodging being offered from locals. This is what we did this year, and it was a good experience. We were not far from town, a good 40-minute walk, but it was comfortable and well organized at the site, and we could dump our gear right out of the van. And there was a shuttle service. We happened to mistime it a lot and ended up walking, but they did have a shuttle running back and forth for like $2 or $3 a pop, which is cool. And the other option is to rent a room, but that's very expensive, and you won't get the camp experience, which is a good deal of the fun. And also with if you're going to the Montebello Rock Festival, and probably a lot of rock fests are like this, you would have to book your room quite a bit in advance. So you're going to be paying a premium price, and you often have to book your room before the lineup is announced, which I'm not prepared to do because really I go to shows for very specific bands. Usually this time around it was Prophets of Rage. So, you know, if it's a lineup I'm not interested in, I'm not going to want to spend the money. So anyway, next you want to pack carefully. Pack light if you're hauling your gear, but even if you are car camping, bring the stuff you'll need. Hat, of course, sunglasses. This is sort of like the list that you'd send your kid off to camp with. Shorts with a lot of pockets because they don't let you carry bags in. Sunscreen, although they might let you take a fanny pack in. I think I've gone in with a fanny pack, which isn't cool. That is not a Rockfest cool thing, a fanny pack. Sunscreen, I recommend SPF 30. Bring cash. They do have machines inside, but you know, it's a lot easier just to pay for your ice cream with a $5 bill. Bring comfortable shoes. I'm not opposed to socks and sandals. I think it's a cultural trope that socks and sandals aren't appropriate. Fight that. Socks and sandals are punk rock. Bring your concert t-shirts, and this is your chance to broadcast your musical taste to the world. Bring a shirt to tie around your waist, and so you can sit on the ground or put it on after the sun goes down. And this year I noticed that the plaid, the red and black checkered plaid, was the go-to plaid shirt color. So bring that, and you're bound to fit in. Bring acoustic earplugs, and trust me on this one. Some of the bands are loud and not necessarily pleasantly so. So get yourself some acoustic earplugs. I bought mine on site for $10. You can probably get them cheaper, but they're better than industrial earplugs. They let you enjoy more of the dynamic range in the music. It doesn't cut out as much as construction site earplugs. Bring easy camping food: tortilla, cheese, nuts, Nutella, sausage, eggs, Pop-Tarts, whatever it is that you eat, but easy and quick. Drink a lot of water. I would hold off on the booze until after sundown. In fact, leave the hard drinking to the kids. Watching bands from 4:30 to 1:30 in the morning or even earlier is a marathon. So us old guys have to pace ourselves. You don't want to be lying face down in the dirt of the runway there with the kids stepping over you when you're in your 50s. Anyway, if that happened, I think they'd just haul you away. They'd assume you had a heart attack, which one poor gentleman in his 50s or 60s did have last year. Plan out your bands. The programming of a rock festival will always be hit and miss. There are usually some bucket list bands that you absolutely have to see, and there's always old favorites and lots of new music to be exposed to, and lots of stuff that just isn't going to be in your wheelhouse. And I must say, if they make it to the Rockfest stage, they're probably very good. I'll do a bit of a review later, but anyone that's playing a Rockfest stage is probably a good band. If you don't like it, it's probably just not your style of music. And believe me, there's plenty of music that is not my style at Rockfest. So this year, we saw... I'll do them in order, I think, of how we saw them. GBH, they were a good old school hardcore punk show. Stone Temple Pilots with Jeff Gutt as lead singer, and they sounded really good. The singer sounds a lot like Scott Whalen, and they played all the hits. DJ Yella, now this was a bit of a disappointment. I like rap and hip-hop, and I like NWA, but... this was just a guy sort of hyping the crowd, East Coast, West Coast, gangsta style. All the ladies in the house say hell yeah. And while other people's music played in the background, I don't quite get it. We left after a few songs, so maybe I didn't give it a good shake. Dropkick Murphys had a terrific set, really good band. I really enjoyed them this time around. Great fit for Rockfest. Dimmu Borgir. And this is the first time I heard of these guys. They do sort of theatrical black metal from Norway, and they were lots of fun. Actually, they put on a terrific show. It was good. It was it was dark, but it was entertaining. Sum 41, and they sounded really good. And honestly, all the bands were good this time around. But this style of pop punk, it's not really my thing. I was too old to listen to them as a youth, so they don't hold any nostalgic appeal for me. They're just radio white noise for me, but still, great show. Prophets of Rage, this was the money show for me, why I decided to put myself through this again. I loved Public Enemy in the 80s, and although I was less of a Rage Against the Machine fan, I do enjoy their music, and this was a rare chance to see them together along with the lead singer from Cypress Hill. Sort of a hip-hop rock supergroup, and they did not disappoint and delivered a very powerful set of classics and new music, which honestly is just as good as some of their old stuff. Motionless in White, another band I'm not really familiar with. They had that sort of guttural screamy thing going on, but then some weird power pop stuff too. odd band. I couldn't quite wrap my head around them. Godsmack, no, they were the revelation of the festival for me. They've been around for a long time, but I've only really heard of them recently. And the music is great. It's hard rock. Reminds me a lot of Volbeat, actually. It's radio-friendly stuff, but still has a good edge to it. Lamb of God and Cannibal Corpse. Now, I know these are two separate bands, but I find them both unlistenable, tremendously popular and successful, so they're doing something right. Lots of people there to see them, lots of people singing along, which is a bizarre thing for me to witness, but I simply can't listen to them. I'm too old, I guess, for Cannibal Corpse. Tenacious D, this was a good set. Jack Black and his musical friend, I forget what his name is, they were surprisingly musical. Jack can really sing, he's got some pipes, and the band rocked, and great, lots of fun. It was funny, and lots of fans there. A lot of people are really big fans of Tenacious D. Jimmy Eats World, good power pop band, a little more musically interesting, I thought, than Sum 41, but I wasn't that familiar with a lot of their music, but it was good. The Exploited, second time I've seen them. I really only know the classic Sex and Violence, and I can even sing along to that one. I know all the words. And I'm glad I've gotten to hear them play it a couple of times now. Steel Panther, ridiculous joke hair band, but they're really funny, crass and hilarious, and perform really well, sound great. It's a thin line between the joke hair bands and the real hair bands, which I guess is part of the joke. Atreyu, they were okay. I don't actually remember a whole lot about them at this point. I think I was starting to get some sunstroke or something, no, this was after the sun went down, but anyway, I was probably relaxed in the pool area there. Weezer was our walk out of the park band. They're a terrific band, and if I wasn't so exhausted, we may have stuck around, but one of the tricks is packing up Saturday so you can leave right after the show on Saturday night and drive out. So all in all, this was one of the better rock fests for me, music and comfort-wise. I would consider going back next year, depending on the lineup. I think I would get a closer camping spot, but I would definitely splurge on the Oasis VIP again. Pack up on Saturday before you go to the shows, then split right after on Sunday or early Sunday morning. So anyway, here I am, back home, sunburned a bit, but having thoroughly enjoyed myself. Had the radio off for 3 days, so this is new in the world. In Ontario, Doug Ford is putting his cabinet together and promising that one of his first acts will be to repeal the cap-and-trade Liberal greenhouse gas emissions bill. He's also looking to target green energy, and of course the federal government's his rationale is that it's going to lower gas prices at the pump, and it probably would, if that's your short-sighted goal. But the federal government has promised they would just impose a federal tax. So this populist and grassroots country people movement, they sure don't believe in global warming, and they get a vote too, and if the world needs to come together to solve the climate issue, I think we're doomed. If you read The Laws of Stupidity by Carlo Maria Coppola, which I Wikipedia just before I did this, he's an economic historian and is famous for his essay about human stupidity, such as the basic laws of human stupidity. He viewed stupid people as a group more powerful by far than major organizations such as the mafia and the industrial complex, which without regulations, leaders, or a manifesto, nonetheless manages to operate to great effect and with incredible coordination. So these are Coppola's 5 fundamental laws of stupidity. Always and inevitably, each of us underestimates the number of stupid individuals in circulation. The probability that a given person is stupid is independent of any other characteristic possessed by that person. A person is stupid if they cause damage to another person or group of people without experiencing personal gain, or even worse, causing damage to themselves in the process. Non-stupid people always underestimate the harmful potential of stupid people. They consistently forget that at any time, anywhere, and in any circumstance, dealing with or associating themselves with stupid individuals invariably constitutes a costly error. A stupid person is the most dangerous type of person there is, and they all seem to be on Facebook. In Canada, marijuana legislation is about to pass, maybe by the end of the week. This is something I never thought I would see in Canada. They've been promising it. I remember as far back as Jean Chrétien, and before that, I think Justin's dad promised it. So I will reward Justin with a vote if he gets this done. I've never voted Liberal in my life, but if he can pass marijuana legalization, which I've been waiting my whole adult life for, I will give him my vote. So what else? And south of the border and the week in Trumpistan, you started the week by attacking Justin Trudeau and trashing the G7 ahead of his summit with Kim Jong-un. He also lobbied for Putin, talking about stupid people, he also lobbied for Putin to be allowed back into the G8. Even without all the mounting evidence that Trump is a Russian traitor, you would think Trump was a Russian traitor just by his words and actions. Then he met with Kim Jong-un and had a photo op. And while I am all for dialogue, Trump seemed to achieve nothing for the U.S. He's always talking about U.S. first, but I don't see what they gained from this. Then he ramped up the trade war with China, and as I left for Rockfest, he was continuing with his brutal internment of migrants from Latin America and putting children in cages and separating them from their parents. Real Nazi stuff, cheered on by his fans, the above-identified stupid. Anyway, Rockfest was a nice break from all of that. Now I have a few days at work, then I'm off to Nova Scotia for a week's vacation. So thanks for watching. I will report back next Sunday from Cape Breton Island. Take care.